look, bit of admin first, okay? Alright, now just before we get going, because it's really busy in here and really dark tonight, are there any of my ex-husbands hiding in here? Honestly, you laugh, it's scary. My eyes used to be so good, I could see right through them. Just because you're really young in the middle there, don't think it lets you off, oh no. I've had my fair share of toy boys. It's true. In fact, actually, one of them looked a lot like you. He doesn't now, of course. It's been years since I buried him. I mean, I do love my gardening, but worms don't half fuck with your face. Have you noticed how hands are just perfectly designed for holding a gun? Now, sir, I can see what you're thinking. Wow, she's pretty fit for an old bird. Wonder if she's got any daughters. No. 4 ex-husbands, no kids, 173 cats. So you're probably wondering what went wrong there then. Well, apparently, marriage is something you have to work at. Work sucks. Evidently more than I did. 4 husbands. That's a lot, isn't it? You thought 7 kids was a lot, 4 husbands. That's a lot, isn't it? Anyone here thinking of getting married? 4 husbands. People find that fascinating. I found it expensive. I'm thinking of making it into a film. I'm going to call it 4 Weddings. It's not finished yet. I did get a bit addicted to weddings, to be honest, it's true. For me, I find weddings are a lot like eating a Chinese. Half an hour after I finished one, I'm ready for another. I do love a nice wedding dress though. Not that big sort that you can hide a fart under, or dragging hemorrhoids, or at my age, vaginal prolapse, or trailing behind you up the aisle, or leaving a trail for the flower girl. No, I like something nice and slinky and sexy, until I found mine on my ex-husband. And he says to me, "Can you see if my bum looks big in this?" I said, "No, but I can see a big cunt in it." My shortest marriage only lasted 3 months. I know, my chlamydia lasted longer. That was one of the toy boy husbands. He was so much younger than me, we had a Spider-Man duvet. And when we split up, it wasn't just because of the age gap. No, it was his mates when they came round for sleepovers. And they all wanted to be in Spider-Man too. But that's the important thing though, isn't it? To keep a marriage together, finding shared interests, things to do together, like each other's mates. Many people have asked me why I got married so many times. It's like my mum always used to say, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. And she had 4 kids. I'm the oldest. Now obviously I didn't live up to expectation. I didn't turn into that flying saucer that my dad wanted. No, it's like at Christmas when your family suddenly decide you're all getting charity presents, and that crushing disappointment when you've been hoping all year for a diamond ring, and instead you've adopted a goat. I asked my dad once what he wanted for Christmas. He said, a nice loving daughter. So my mum had another baby. How are we doing with our Christmas shopping? Are we getting it done? Oh dear. Have you noticed how expensive everything is lately?
Yeah.
Isn't it terrible? Wow. But look, don't worry, because if you're doing your Christmas shopping in a supermarket, they've now installed those self-checkout facilities, haven't they? Save me a trip to Dignitas. Suicide while you shop. Gotta love the convenience. Just tap and go. It's quicker than a clip-on news, Kerry-Ann. I do hate those do-it-yourself checkouts though, don't you? They're like some kind of covert job interview. Get it right and you get that green light and that happy little beep. Like a patronising pat on the head, proving that I'm not completely fucking incompetent. But get it wrong, and that red light flashes above your head, doesn't it? Shaming you for being shit. And I don't know about you, but I get huge performance anxiety when forced to work in a red light area. Of course, at Christmas, if you're like me and you've just rocked up with a shopping trolley full of booze, that red light's on all the time, isn't it? Lady with a shopping trolley full of booze! Lady with a shopping trolley full of booze! Come and check her age! Come and check her age! You can see, Botox works. So, back to marriages. So, at the moment, I'm giving marriages a little bit of a rest because one of the downsides of being married is that eventually the sex dries up. I know. So I'm taking a break from weddings at the moment. I'm calling it the men-o-pause. Which is when your fanny dries up. Or for the Americans in the room, it really cripples your coochie. I'm just thinking, it made me think of Christmas, Mary with the virgin birth. Was she just too fucking old and Joseph couldn't get it in? No, but seriously, the menopause, it tightens up your fanny, it dries it out like some kind of coarse grade sandpaper, and tightens it up so much, sir, it's like trying to feed your cock into an ATM. And that's gonna hurt, isn't it? And that's why it's called the menopause. It's literally a pause from men. I finally got to that age where I can have as much sex as I want, whenever I want. Except I can't. Because I can't get it in. Now look, don't get me wrong. I've obviously had a man in at some point. I know this because of my sex drive. It's been gravelled over. It's just a shame he didn't stop to do the gardening while he was there. Or maybe muck out some of the guttering. But you do get to the point where if a shag really is off the table, I mean, sir, on the table would be nice. But I can't get it in. You think, why don't you just stop playing with your cock and stick your credit card in the ATM instead? I'll settle for a handbag. But meanwhile, don't worry, because I've seen the doctor. I know, that in itself is amazing, isn't it? That in itself is amazing. But I have seen a doctor, and she's now put me on HRT. What that is hormone replacement therapy. Woo! Woo! Thank you. We have a supporter, which apparently, within weeks, I don't know if this will work for you, Kerry-Ann, but within weeks, is going to turn me from being a bitter and dried up old hag, and back into a horny, wet 16-year-old. I'll let you know when it's worked. Because right now, I'm still pretty fucking bitter. Maybe a little bit moist. But less Debbie Does Dallas and more Liz Truss just getting out the bath. I'll leave you on that pretty picture.